Pardon me while I have a strange interlude.
There is nothing else. Life is an obscure hobo bumming a ride on the omnibus of art.
Along the misty corridors of time, and in those corridors I see figures, strange figures.
Welcome back, my friends, to the AP Strange Show. I am your host, AP Strange, and as you might have guessed, this is my show. Tonight's show is brought to you by the Hepcat Helm Memorial Tabernacle of Terror. It's a funhouse. Hepcat insisted that it not be called a funhouse, but he's no longer here, having been killed by the Fiji mermaid. So the Memorial Tabernacle of Terror still exists for your pleasure. Just watch out for all the broken glass. Tonight on the show, we're thumbing through the Darin Morgan files, by which I mean if you're an X-File fan, an X-File file, I guess, you already know who Darin Morgan is, and because his episodes are among the most popular, and we're going to talk about some of those, just because it's something I wanted to do for quite a while, and I'm a big fan of the X-Files and those ones particularly because they have that kind of sense of humor to them. So for this show, I had already been talking to my friend Bradley Plaisier about Darin Morgan. So who better to have on the show to talk to this, talk on the subject about than paranormal bon vivant, tennis instructor and t-shirt designer Bradley Plaisier, Mr. B Pleasies himself, and he suggested you got to bring my friend Robert Skvarla on because your show will be much better for it. So freelance writer Robert Skvarla, an internet personality of sorts. Anytime he retweeted me on Twitter when I was still there, for some reason, I just got a ton more attention, mostly positive. So welcome to the show, both of you.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I appreciate you both joining me here tonight because I mean I know you both have been on shows together where you've talked X-Files, right? What was that show, Bradley?
Well, the first time we did a watch along on Ghost Stories for the End of the World for the Jose Chung's episode.
Okay.
With just like us commentating and stuff, and then we went on another show called Wet Wired to talk X-Files in general. Okay.
Yeah. So X-Files in general is a pretty broad subject. I wanted to focus on Morgan, because I'm a fan and because I know you both are.
I mean, we can also do the other Morgan too, Glenn Morgan, big role in the show too.
Well, right. Yeah. Just as a little background, Glenn Morgan was a writer-producer for the show, and that's how Darin Morgan ended up on the writing staff. He had been in a couple episodes and kind of helped with the story for a few, and then got on permanently. Yeah. So
they're brothers, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So I mean, Glenn was on the staff and productive for the whole series, I think.
Yeah. I think he wrote like a little over a dozen episodes, but like was a story editor and a shit ton.
Right. He was also a producer and
right.
So, yeah. And I mean, that's kind of, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think one of the magical things about Darin Morgan is that he would have like one golden episode per season after that first one. It kind of seemed that way where like every once in a while one would come around and it was like, it was like it was like Christmas coming early every time one of them showed up.
Well, can I ask if you were watching X-Files when it was airing?
I was. Yeah, I understand you're younger than me.
Yeah.
So probably not.
I mean, I was just because I was very young at the time. I think one of my first memories of watching TV is my parents not realizing they were letting me watch the episode home as it was happening.
Oh no!
So I'm there like terrified out of my mind. I forget how old I was, but like, watching underneath a pillow, going back and keep going back and forth. And I think my dad after that was like, yeah, we're not going to let you watch the X-Files for a little while anymore.
Wow. Yeah, my dad was oblivious because the thing was, my mom was in a bowling league every Sunday night. Every Sunday night she would be bowling. My dad would watch his shows, and me and my brother would go up to his bedroom and watch the crappy little TV with the bunny ears on it in his room. Watch The Simpsons and then the X-Files. So I saw pretty much all of these when they first aired.
Nice.
Yeah, my parents watched it with me, which was an odd experience, certainly for home, because it was one of those episodes you never forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I have to wonder.
Go ahead.
I have to wonder how different my experience would be if I was watching it with an adult in the room. It was like just me and my brother, like in a dark room too. So, and it didn't have a remote control on the TV, so you had to use the dial. So when you turned it off, you just had that little singular point of light in the TV screen, and the rest of the room was dark as you're trying to scramble out of there right after watching the X-Files.
It's got to be terrifying.
It was.
Yeah, I started watching X-Files because my dad had them all on DVD, like all those seasons, and I like would watch a lot of them with him, and then also I'd skip school sometimes to watch X-Files in middle school, fake sick. But yeah, the one that there were a couple episodes I didn't watch like for 8-9 years after that because they scared me so bad. One was Elegy from the bowling one, and then Badla from season 8 with the Indian mystic on a little hand cart.
Oh man, that one was weird. Yeah.
Whew. Yeah, that was rough.
I think that actor died recently, didn't he?
Oh,
like
really?
A year or two ago.
Oh no, that's too bad. Mark
he was
Snow too.
Oh yeah, R.I.P. Mark Snow.
For real.
Classic soundtrack.
But can I ask, did you guys watch Millennium?
We were talking about it just before we got on here. I watched some of it in the original run. I didn't remember a lot of it. A mutual friend of us, of you and me, Bradley, Robbie Martin, talked to me a little while back about it. So I tried watching it again. It's a difficult show because it's, I guess, what, people would call now grim dark. Like it's something so relentlessly dark, it's hard to get into.
I see.
But our subject today, Darin Morgan, wrote 2 really funny episodes, a continuation of Jose Chung's and another one about 4 demons who sit down at a donut shop to reminisce about all the evil deeds that they've done. And they all end up talking about their encounters with the anti-hero of the show, Frank Black, played by Lance Henriksen. They're both probably the funniest episodes in the series.
Yeah, he's so cool. That sounds great.
Lance Henriksen?
Oh no, Darin Morgan.
Yeah.
I was like,
well, Lance Henriksen's pretty cool too.
He is too, yeah. He's great in the show. My issue with the show is it's difficult from like a mental standpoint for me to get into. The first season is very like late 90s, every cliche you can think of. I think like the opening episode has White Zombie and Gravity Kills and all the music you would expect from something from that period. But then like the show is disconnected without any like overarching narrative until you get to season 2 and you get into the secret society stuff, the Millennium Group and all of that. It gets a little better from there on.
See, that's what I didn't like because in this era of streaming, you can binge watch stuff or you can go back and you can call up on demand whatever's happening, or even just look at Wikipedia and say like what happened in the last episode. Yep. But watching them in real time in the 90s, it's like I didn't even like on the X-Files when there was a story arc.
Oh, really?
If I missed one, I'm just like, man, I don't know what happened. Like how do I?
Yeah.
I missed that one. I don't know how they got here. I liked Monster of the Week.
See, I like both. I'm one of those sickos that loves the Myth Arc episodes almost as much as the Monster of the Week episodes. I have to watch them separately because I now want to binge all of like the narrative episodes back to back.
Yeah.
But the Monster of the Week episodes you can just throw on all the time and they're great.
Yeah. Well, I would argue that there is an arc to the Monster of the Weeks in like a weird synchronicity kind of way that's tied directly to the Darin Morgan episodes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, I can see that. Totally.
Right. Well, I mean, to lay it out a little bit more, because it ventures into some of the ones that aren't. Clyde Bruckman's final Repose is a really important one because it introduces Queequeg, who appears in a later episode. That wasn't written by Morgan, but he helped out with like a whole speech that Scully gives about Mulder being like Captain Ahab.
Yep.
Which is it's like one of those classic dialogue that's between the two of them as far as the whole show goes. But Clyde Bruckman also tells Scully that she's immortal.
Yeah, you don't die. Yeah,
right.
Probably the best episode of the show, right?
And Clyde Bruckman's, probably.
I would say yes, but like everyone has their favorite,
right?
Well, it's hard to beat. It really is. And from this interview with Morgan that I read, it seems like it was a very personal one for Morgan too. But I'll get back to that in just a moment, because I got to lay out this arc thing. Because Clyde Bruckman sees Mulder get killed. He sees the vision of Mulder getting his throat slit. Although he also implies that Mulder is going to die from autoerotic asphyxiation.
Yes.
So by telling him about the pie, he alters the timeline, and Mulder ends up in a different timeline. So then later, when you have Dreamland parts 1 and 2, and you have him switch places with Michael McKean's MIB character, that's how you end up getting the waterbed involved.
Yep.
And the waterbed leaks later in the Groundhog Day episode, which sets off the series of events that has the same day repeating, where Mulder and Scully both die during the bank robbery over and over again. Yeah. So there's like this other arc going on, and there's a lot more. I mean, like there's an episode that the title's in German, as many of them are, and I refuse to try to pronounce it, but what it means is the hand that wounds. It's with the satanic cult in New Hampshire.
Oh, that's a great episode.
Yeah.
Right. And you have the substitute teacher that's essentially either a demon or the devil himself, in the form of the substitute teacher woman, and she says, "Nice working with you." So there's like entities on the other side. It's implied all the time in the Monster of the Weeks that are either out to get Mulder or out to help him, and it's not really sure. You're never really sure which one it is. So
see, I thought you were just talking about like regular character growth in their interactions, or even like Queequeg pops up in the Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose, but he makes a cameo in War of the Coprophages and other episodes as well with Scully.
Right. It became this cumbersome thing where Scully couldn't go with Mulder sometimes because she had the dog.
Yeah.
So they had to do away with the dog. Spoiler alert if you never saw the Lake Monster episode.
It's a great one.
Quagmire. That's Quagmire. That's what it is. Yeah. So that's an important part of War of the Coprophages, is that she's staying home. She's like giving Queequeg a bath, and Mulder is just off on his own, I think in Cape Cod, with all the cockroaches and everything.
Oh, Miller's Grove is the name of the town, I believe. Nice play on the Orson Welles War of the Worlds.
Yeah. I think he said in that interview that should I call you Matt or AP?
Either way. I mean, AP generally, because that's the name of the show. But
all right, let's go. What AP said earlier about the interview with Darin Morgan, the very rare interview with Darin Morgan, he says that he based that episode on the War of the Worlds.
I mean, you can see it in the episode where it's like, is it hysteria? Is it an actual attack? What's going on? It's a really fun episode. I mean, all of the episodes he does have this humor to it, where it's something beyond just what you're seeing in the episode itself. It's very literate, referencing things outside the actual text. So like references from all of these different sources abound in every episode you see with them.
Yeah. Also in War of the Coprophages, I mean, it's really funny and fast, but it's also really personal in a weird way. 'Cause I thinking about Bambi. And like Scully's like thinks Mulder's crazy this whole time, and then as soon as he mentions Bambi, she's like, maybe there's something going on, and then she has to go see him.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it's one of those like Monster of the Week episodes where it's as much about advancing their characters and their relationship as it is just the episode itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, to your point, Robert, of what you were just saying, is like, not only does he do all the stuff you alluded to, but he's playing with reality in a way where you're never really sure what's real and what's not.
And he would do that quite literally in one of the later seasons.
And
Yeah, exactly.
like in that interview with Darin Morgan that we were just talking about, he talks about Vladimir Nabokov, his favorite writer, and his like naming Lord Kinbote and Jose Chung's after Kimbodi or Kimbote in Pale Fire, which I just read, by the way. It's super fucking good. And the whole he said, Morgan says in that interview that Vladimir Nabokov said in an interview that anytime anybody writes the word reality, it should have quotes around it.
Awesome.
I think it's very good. The whole story, naming him Kimbodi is great too, because he's sort of the inner earth monster, because like he's the one who puts the wrench in the whole narrative and fucks it all up. And all of Pale Fire is about narrative framing. Like it's a possibly psychotic guy, like commentating, trying to frame a story about a guy that he knows in a certain way, when really there's no real indication that's like anything that he's talking about is how it worked out in real life.
Yeah, because Kimbo is kind of the bridge too far for that's where it gets really into the high strangeness side of it. And that's what I think is great about all the Morgan episodes, but especially Jose Chung, is that it's the best and most accurate, I think, representation of what high strangeness events are that's ever been on TV.
You know? Twin Peaks: The Return, but you're right. It's second place. Yeah, Twin Peaks: The Return is number one.
We'll agree to disagree. They're at least kind of on the same level, and I mean there is definitely overlap between Twin Peaks and
Indeed,
right. Of course, David Duchovny, that's the obvious one, but in Humbug, the first of the Darin Morgan full episodes, you have the man from another place as the trailer park owner. Yeah,
he's so good in that episode too.
Yeah, and it was the Gulf Breeze trailer court.
Was it?
Yeah,
I never caught that. That's funny.
I didn't until last night, and that's what's great is you rewatch these and you're still picking up. On. Like, I watched Humbug and Jose Chung last night and caught 2 Easter eggs that I never noticed before.
What were the Jose Chung's ones?
At the very beginning, it says it takes place in Class County.
Class County, yeah.
Klass. And I'm like, oh, Philip J. Klass, got it. Like,
yeah, when we Robert and I did the watch along for that episode, I noticed for the first time that after the pilot, when they're in the diner, he's doing the fucking Close Encounters thing with the potatoes on the plate in the diner. I never noticed that.
Oh, right. Making the shape with the mashed potatoes.
Yeah, he's doing like Devil's Tower. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's one of the things that's great about, I mean, not just Morgan episodes, X-Files in general. They very clearly understood their source material to a level that a lot of other shows that deal with the supernatural, paranormal, it feels like they're outsiders just messing around with the subject. I could absolutely believe, if I knew nothing about Darin Morgan, that he was probably someone who researched ufology or the paranormal at some point in his life, just out of his own curiosity.
It's actually the opposite. He didn't get into it at all until he started on the X-Files.
He has a level of like understanding that betrays like the fact that he was an outsider.
He's truly special. He says in that same interview we were talking about. What magazine was this in this?
It's Cinefantastique, which is kind of a unwieldy name, I think. It's, it's from the 90s, and like we said before, it's October 1996. And I found a copy on eBay, and then I scanned it and sent it over to Bradley, because it's too good to not share, you know. So, but yeah, there aren't that many interviews with him. Like, it's really hard to find interviews online. So I had to go buy this physical magazine from 1996 to get it. And that was before.
Yeah, in that interview, he says that like he didn't know anything about the UFO subject or any of this stuff, and then he started reading when he got onto the X-Files, and like, yeah, it's maybe it's like the thing where like when I went to basic training for the Army, I'd never shot a gun before, so I was very fresh, and I was relatively bright, so I just followed instruction and it worked. and I could do critical thinking.
Well,
My point is that like he is a smart guy who like wasn't part of him going into it, so he was able to read it with like as a mature person and I guess appreciate it for what it is.
that kind of makes the Jose Chung's episode funny because he is Jose Chung in that sense. Like he's that character who's going around as an outsider learning about the subject and then turning it into something. I
Yeah.
think that also makes the Jose Chung's episode he does for Millennium, which ends in a very Clyde Bruckman sort of way, even more interesting. Seems like many of the characters may be self-inserts for him.
Is that where he's really frustrated that his book's not selling?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, and as Charles Nelson Riley comes back.
he comes back. Yes,
Mhm.
fantastic performance. I don't think it's as good as the original Jose Chung's, but it has its moments.
All right, here's something I wanted to ask you both. Do you have any thoughts on that name? Because it's a bizarre name, Jose Chung. Is he making a reference to something?
I've
With
always
that,
wondered. I've never looked into it too deeply.
I feel like it's a play on like C.J. Young,
That's
like Carl
yeah.
It
Jung.
could be.
Yeah. But it's such a bizarre, Jose Chung. I'm always like, where did he come up with that name? It's just a bizarre name.
It really is. Yeah, 'cause they never really yeah, I have no idea. It is a bizarre name. Maybe it's a pen name.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I
I mean,
don't think it's Charles Nelson Riley's character's actual name. It's his, yeah, it's his pen name from what I took from the episode, if I remember right.
okay, that makes
I believe
sense.
he writes
Yeah,
under a pseudonym as a character. I forget if they even reveal his real name in the episode. But I always took it to be a pen name.
Gotcha.
yeah. I think it's funny that Scully's like a big fan of his.
I always thought that was funny too.
Yeah. The very
And the,
rational character who loves the,
The airport novels.
yeah.
and he's got these great names for his fake books, which are just references to other things like the Caligarian Candidate.
Well, it's funny you say that about Scully because in War of the Coprophages, they have her reading Breakfast at Tiffany's, which is, I guess, a
Yeah.
reference to when David Duchovny was on some game show and a question was asked about it. But it's like, as her character, it's not something I would expect her to be just sitting there reading on her own.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that makes sense. I mean, she was busy most of her life, so I guess she didn't really have much time to develop a taste in media that's very sophisticated.
yeah, she must have been, right? That's one thing that irritates me about the show continuity wise, like broadly, is just like, okay, wait, so Scully is a medical doctor and a quantum physicist and an FBI agent who was also in the Navy at one point or something, right? Like, and she's like, what, 26? Like, how?
I mean, it's also
Uh,
just funny, like the different ways they contrast their personalities and their kind of media consumption. Scully has that, whereas like Mulder likes really bad B movies and pornography.
Yeah.
Like those are his two character traits. If you
Yeah.
like actually see him watching anything.
And he's kind of a perv too, because
Oh,
like at
yeah.
the end of
Yeah.
Jose Chung, he's basically beating it to the Patty film.
Well, there is the Patty he drew with the boobs, the famous image
Yeah.
that turned into a meme.
It's actually funny in the same interview with Darin Morgan, he says that the Patterson Gimlin film is as phony as the Alien Autopsy, which made me mad.
I mean, the sense I got from Jose Chung's is probably, even if he studied it, he wasn't someone who probably was a believer because
Oh,
it's
he's not
not
at all.
necessarily an episode that just the various things, the way they play out, and Charles Nelson Riley's character throughout the episode, I never took it to mean Morgan would be someone who believed.
Well, I mean, I think he just took the assignments really seriously. Like he was in the sphere and he got onto the writing staff, and he took the job seriously enough that he really wanted to do his homework, and he found humor everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And to talk about like how seriously he took it, what I alluded to earlier with Clyde Bruckman being a personal story for him was he talked about how unhappy he was with how Humbug came out. I guess they had really gone out on a limb for that first full script that he did because it was so unlike anything they did before.
Mhm.
I remember I had it on VHS and there was like a little part at the end where Chris Carter's giving a few words that, for whatever reason, that VHS release had Chris Carter's like commentary at the end. And he was just like, yeah, I mean, we weren't really sure about that script because it seemed kind of weird and it seemed kind of goofy, but we ran with, and fans loved it. So, um, and
But he
but
hated it.
yeah, I guess there were like a bunch of gags he wanted to do that didn't make the cut, and he was really depressed about how it came out. So he wanted to write a serious script with a depressed character at the front that he named after a Hollywood writer, Clyde Bruckman. I caught this reference when I was a kid because I was a freakish kid that watched comedies from the 1920s and the 1930s. I loved the Three Stooges and I loved Laurel and Hardy and W.C. Fields and things like that. And Clyde Bruckman wrote for them all, you know. But he ended up he was one of the top comedy writers, and then at some point he became an alcoholic. He started recycling gags, getting less work, and a lot of criticism, and he ended up killing himself. So it's like he identified with this Clyde Bruckman character that he wrote, which identified directly with the suicidal Hollywood writer because he was very depressed about how Humbug went. And it's like, wow, that's for such a funny but moving episode. That's wild to think about, right?
Yeah, truly, he really is like a very sensitive guy. Like he also talks about how like he never wrote like when that interview came out in the 90s, like he said that he'd only written 4 episodes and wasn't going to come back because it just took too much out of him, like emotionally, which like it's not a normal TV writer.
Yeah, it's almost like he landed the dream job, but he put too much heart into it. So he just,
and it shows though. It shows.
It does. I mean, we're all better for it. And
Yeah.
I feel like it's a shame that there aren't more Morgan episodes, but on the other hand, it's like the man put everything he had into the ones that he did, and it shows, and you can see it in there. You feel the heart when you watch it.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, when you watch those, it even feels though like there's a running theme. I mean, all of the episodes generally have this common idea, philosophy of absurdism, like the idea that existence itself is fundamentally pointless, like Clyde Bruckman, essentially like his ending. Um, the other episodes, what am I trying to think of? Oh yeah, Jose Chung's is an episode which is fundamentally absurd. Nothing really gets resolved by the end. And then Jose Chung, Charles Nelson Riley's character's ending in the Millennium episode kind of reinforces that. But then you get to the later season when he does the Were Monster episode. And literally, like, the Were Monster character at the end of the episode is just like, I don't understand any of this. You humans are insane. I just want to go back to being a monster and leave this world behind. So, like, there's this running theme of absurdism through everything that he does.
Yeah.
Which is uncommon when it's uncommon when you see someone committing to that across all of the episodes that they write in just one series.
Yeah. He said he tried hard to like write with an episode. I can't remember if it was Clyde Bruckman's or he wanted to write an episode with no jokes and just like said he couldn't. He tried and couldn't do it. He just
because when you're getting to that kind of existential level of absurdity and questioning reality, like you kind of have to crack a joke. I don't really see any way around it.
Yeah, it's just too heavy-handed and cringe otherwise. Yeah,
which Millennium did sometimes lapse into, but he found a way to actually make it work within that series where he cut through the dark elements to actually find humor in this really kind of dour, hard to watch series sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the X-Files suffered for it too early on. When they'd always have the end of the episode where they were writing the report, whether it was Scully or Mulder, sometimes they'd get deep in the weeds and philosophical in their like FBI report. And it's like, I don't know, come on, somebody throw a pie. Like you need somebody to lighten it up a little bit because it got a little bit I don't know. You say cringe. I guess that's the right word.
Well, actually, speaking of that, Darin Morgan tackled that brilliantly in War of the Coprophages, where Mulder sees a little cockroach on his desk and isn't sure it looks like a normal cockroach and not robot alien, and he still just whack.
Yeah.
But I think there's an even better version of that in Humbug, his first episode, where it's obviously about this carnival freak show, essentially. And at the end, they flip it by they're looking at Mulder and they're like, he's the future, isn't he? And they're like, what the hell's going on with this world? And Mulder's off in the background just doing whatever he's doing.
Stand
It's like
like a
this great
GQ
punchline.
poster.
Yeah.
That is still one of the funniest moments in the whole series where he goes, I've seen the future and it looks just like him.
Yep.
And Mulder's got one leg up on the trailer step, like posing. It's just as funny as like the Simpsons episode with Mulder and Scully, where it's
Yeah.
just like Agent Mulder, FBI. He's got like he's in the Speedo. But to me, that spoke to me as an angsty, misguided teenager, where that whole speech that Dr. Blockhead gives in that, where he's like, we're the self-made freaks. It's up to us to keep things weird.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great character.
Yeah, played by Jim Rose, who I don't really know that much about, but it seemed like he would cause trouble on Twitter sometimes. Did you ever encounter this?
I never knew he was on Twitter.
There was like a Jim Rose Circus account on Twitter, and he would share like vaguely paranormal stuff that was really hoaxy and stuff, and then people would get all upset about it. Because then it would get shared around in like paranormal circles, and people are like, "This is fake,"
That's so funny.
But I mean, he's a circus guy. Like, what do you want? He is very much, I guess, in real life, the character he was on the show.
It's perfect. I love that.
Yeah.
No, great casting choice.
Yeah, and I mean, it's inspired me to want to become a blockhead at various points in my life. I've thought about trying to learn how to.
Is that not like a freak thing that you're born with? You can learn how to do it.
Well, like the nail in the nose.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I believe that's a skill you pick up, right?
Gotcha.
It's just learning how not to hurt yourself doing it.
Yeah.
Anybody can do it if you got the guts. I've attempted it a few times, but been dissuaded by either my wife or my son. Kindly asked me not to. So someday I'll do it. I'm just worried you'd sneeze when you do it.
Yeah.
That would be my biggest concern.
You just need a good teacher.
You just need a good pair of nose hair trimmers, I think. For you. Well, I knew a guy that could do it. I knew a magician that would do that.
And
he would do like walking on broken glass and like all this other stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's all stuff you can learn.
Was not aware of that.
Well, there you go, Bradley. You can learn all of that if you would like.
I do have a friend who's a magician. I knew him when I was a kid. He used to like just his name's Trino, Italian last name. He would just like do like the tables at Culver's or whatever when he was like a teenager. And now he's like pretty fucking good. And does shows still. And I thought of him when I was scanning stuff from Marcello Trezzi's thing. Archive at Eastern Michigan University, and because I scanned all of his correspondence with Ricky Jay. And
that's amazing.
And I was like, I think you might like this. And we've been talking a lot again, and I want him to teach me some magic tricks.
Yeah. I think pretty much anybody that's interested in the paranormal would do well to learn a little bit about sleight of hand and magic, because
I totally agree.
It really does show you how easily manipulated perception is.
Yeah, I was reading, like I constantly come across ufologists who write books or whatever, and they have sleight of hand as a hobby or magic as a hobby. Keel, George Hansen, all these different people, and it also just like fucking sounds fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. But it's a young man's game. So there's still time for you, Bradley. I mean, I know how a lot of it works, but I don't have the time or patience to practice it enough.
Sure.
I mean, even the CIA was interested in magic. I believe what is it, the Manual of Trickery and Deception that they funded through MK Ultra funds?
Yeah, John Mulholland was brought in ostensibly to teach people how to like slip people a Mickey without being noticed. But he was also sent to investigate the Kelly Hopkinsville case.
Yes.
by Sidney Gottlieb, and there is mention of this from a few sources, but nothing in detailed about it, which frustrates me to no end. So, Bradley, if you come across any more detail on what John Mulholland is doing,
I'm definitely trying to get interested in him. I've been asking around if anybody's read like his book or the more recent book about him, and nobody has.
the Mulholland book.
Yeah, he wrote like a book about himself and his life, not just like the manual, and then somebody else more recently wrote a biography about him, and I haven't come across anybody who's read them yet, but I plan to. They sound really interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've been meaning to do another show on Joseph Dunninger, who's like similarly kind of. I think he has some spooky ties as well, and he precedes Mulholland a little bit, but they all knew each other.
What was his name?
Joseph Dunninger.
Who's that?
He was a friend of Houdini's. He was a really well-known magician and mentalist.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
so I have his book on thought reading, which seems to suggest that he actually believed in telepathy and that it wasn't just like cold reading and things like that for him.
That's cool.
But yeah, we're way off on a tangent now. But I mean, the magic trick does play into Humbug, because there's that whole sleight of hand where it appears that Scully ate the bug.
No, yeah.
And then she still has it in her hand. She goes, "Oh, my uncle was an amateur magician," and Mulder says everybody's uncle was an amateur magician because he stole the nail. It's just great stuff. Like the timing, and because comedy is really all about timing, and the way that Darin Morgan wrote those lines was always pulled off perfectly by whoever was in the cast. But I mean, obviously by Duchovny and Anderson in their repartee with that he wrote out. I mean, I think every little joke that Morgan wrote landed. I laugh a lot during those.
I do too.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me thinking about like the level of detail of some of those episodes, like Jose Chung's, and just thinking the fact that he was coming into the paranormal subject matter from
I know
as an outsider, because Jose Chung's in particular, with everything like the references to John Mack and like Bud Hopkins that are clearly in there with the interviews, all of the stuff about false memories, all of that stuff. You may have known it if you read about it, but the way it's laid out, it feels like there's a level of detail to it it's amazing to me that he was not familiar with the subject matter before coming to the series.
he said that like he was having problems writing the episode, and he added the hypnosis thing, and it was like, oh, the whole episode's about hypnosis now.
Yeah.
I mean, it works so well.
Yeah, it works perfect, and it's accurate.
It's a masterclass in illustrating high strangeness, I guess, is really the only way I can think of it. Which, yeah, it's astounding that he was able to synthesize that coming from an outside perspective. Although maybe that's the key to it, is looking at it from the outside in. And,
exactly.
Fresh set of eyes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, even the Men in Black, the way they're portrayed is
the best.
Great. Jesse the Body Ventura is the lead
Pat
one.
Sajak, man, so good.
Your president,
Alex
James
Trebek.
Earl Carter.
Alex Trebek, you're right. I'm mixing them up.
Yeah. Sorry, Bradley, we cut you off there with the line.
I love his lines where he's like, he keeps saying like your scientists, or like your president, James Earl Carter Jr.
Yeah. You have the audacity to say seeing is believing. It's like so threatening. I guess Alex Trebek was a substitution, and originally they wanted to have Johnny Cash.
Oh.
Which would have been great.
I think it almost works better, right?
Yeah.
Well, it would have been, I think it would have been a little on the nose, because Johnny
Man
Cash
in
was
Black.
The Man in Black. And I think that was the joke. But then for whatever reason, I think he was like touring or just not in great health or something.
They had the same problem with Cher in the postmodern Prometheus. It's a shame.
Right. Maybe Johnny Cash isn't allowed in Canada. I don't know.
That could be. I mean, I have a friend who's not allowed in Canada, so it's very possible.
Because I mean, that's where they shot them all, I think, right?
At least through season 6, yeah. Which is crazy. They like in Anasazi, they painted that whole cliffside red. It literally did.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Men in Black. I mean, Alex Trebek, I think, was a brilliant choice just because it's so out there, and it's exactly the kind of thing where, like, if you told somebody, well, the Men in Black showed up and one of them was Alex Trebek, like nobody's gonna believe you.
And
know?
the way he says you were getting very sleepy, very relaxed, it's just so perfect. It just like feels like a hypnotist.
Right. And that's the running theme. And then the repeating line in the episode is, "How the hell should I know?" I love that.
It's a great reaction image, the alien costume face. How the hell should I know?
But I mean, at the end of the episode, Jose Chung asks Mulder what really happened. And that's what he says is, "How the hell should I know?"
I use that quite a bit, actually.
It's great. And I mean, when I watched it last night, I turned to my wife. I'm like, when I was however old I was watching this when it first aired, just like that opening scene where with the one gray alien turning to the other and just saying, what the hell what the hell is that?" And he goes, how the hell should I know?" I just remember like laughing because it goes to commercial, and me and my brother were both like losing our minds. We're like, what was that?
It's so funny because it goes from like the shot of the two aliens from the back who are actually Air Force guys in alien costumes, then like Lord Kimboat in front of them in like stop motion animation style going roar, and then it cuts to like the one alien's face, and he's like goes like, huh? He's like, "What the hell is that thing?" And the other guy goes, "How the hell should I know?" It like pans over. It's so funny.
It's just perfect. Yeah, I mean, because I didn't see that coming at all, and I mean, I definitely caught. It was basically supposed to be like a Ray Harryhausen type monster.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I loved Harryhausen stuff. Like, I was obsessed with Jason and the Argonauts and those movies when I was a kid.
We just had a Harryhausen exhibit at the museum in Kalamazoo.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was so cool.
Lucky.
Got to see all the little skeletons.
Yeah, great. Did they have the flying saucers from Earth versus the flying saucers? Nice. Yeah. That's great. But yeah, so many different elements that are really good. The scene that really cracked me up last night too is the diner the diner proprietor's account of Mulder coming. Just ordering a piece of pie and asking one question and eating it and then ordering another piece. It's like, he ate an entire pie in this fashion. that had Twin Peaks vibes to it for me.
Definitely.
Too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So damn good stuff. So we do need to mention also that Morgan is an actor and appears in a couple of the episodes. I'm not sure if this is still true, but for the longest time, his IMDb account was a picture of the flukeworm man because he plays the.
It's not anymore, but yeah, it was.
Right. For the longest time, it was the flukeworm man monster, which I think is one of the most terrifying looking things that's ever appeared on TV.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
That was one that was nightmare fuel for me, and I feel like that was pretty early on. So the second season,
beginning of season 2,
yeah, it was. Yeah. I think it may have even been one of the first one or two episodes of the season.
Yeah, yeah, that one in particular scared the shit out of me.
It's just funny to think that was how he got his in for the show. He got cast as the Fluke Man, and he spun that into writing Humbug and then Clyde Bruckman's.
Right. And then bowing out entirely.
Yeah. Well, no, not necessarily. Like, he skipped a couple of seasons, but then he came back.
He did some story editing and stuff
yeah.
too.
I think he contributed to some of the episodes, like Blood, if I remember right. He has some story credits.
That was his first writing one where he like fixed the problems with Blood, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he wrote the, as I said, with I just already lost the name again. The Lake Monster one, Quagmire. When he helped write that whole dialogue about Moby Dick and Ahab, because Moby Dick is another. I feel like there were a couple like inside jokes with the writers room that they all loved referencing Moby Dick and like comedies from the 1930s and 20s.
I mean, it feels like that was common in the 90s. The Simpsons had a lot of gags like that too. A lot of the writers' rooms in that period, it just feels like that was like the end of that era where you had like these on a mass scale. You can still find it in some like niche streaming shows, but like on a mass scale, where you had like these hyperliterate writing rooms where you'd be mashing up like weird 1930s references alongside current, pop culture trends and things like that. X-Files would throw that
Mhm.
stuff in there all the time.
Like postmodern literature and
Yeah, exactly.
it's just like because I wrote about the X-Files around one of the anniversary years and kind of like talked about that speech in Quagmire as being a perfect encapsulation of kind of what Mulder's all about, where Scully, compares him to Ahab, and his only takeaway from that is like, I always kind of wanted to have a peg leg, you know. But I think that's an important thing to point out because, and I think that goes over people's heads, is that Mulder himself is he is a monomaniacal um, lunatic in a lot of ways. He's on this quest, and it doesn't really matter how many bodies pile up or how many times Scully's in peril and needs to be rescued, which always kind of irked me that she had to be like a damsel in distress so many times
Yeah,
because she's a stronger character than that. But
definitely.
uh, they definitely fell into that trope a couple times at least in the early seasons. But I think that's a cautionary tale where for anyone into UFOs that you can't be monomaniacal, single-minded in your pursuit of the truth, whatever that means to you, if especially if it's hurting people along the way.
Right.
you know um
No,
so
definitely. Like when I it's not a great example. Never mind. I was going to talk about my own UFO experiences, but I don't think it's a good example. It's just like you got to be able to be normal. You got to think about other things.
Are you like Mulder and you've thrown a lot of bodies out
I'm not.
over the side to like get to what you need to get to?
No, I just got obsessed for a while and then stopped being obsessed. It basically destroyed my lifestyle habits and like I couldn't lost all my social skills. I couldn't be a normal person.
So you're like Mulder.
I don't want to say that. Everybody says
yeah,
that.
well, I mean, nobody died, I don't think, because of Bradley
Not to my
Whitford.
knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like there's many people around me. It's a very lonely time,
Well,
which
all
another.
I want to, all I'm getting at is if you find yourself driving to Martha's Vineyard in the middle of the night to wake your mom up to yell at her about what your dad did like 30 or 40 years ago, like you might have a problem. You might have a
Yeah,
UFO problem.
definitely,
On the
definitely.
other hand, you might meet a scientist named Bambi.
You might, you know. But I mean,
But she might not be
Mul-
into you either.
Well, there's
Mul-
that.
she liked the Dr. Ivanov in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Stephen Hawking, I guess, analog, right?
Right.
Yeah, he said he based the insect robots on a real guy at MIT who was making insect robots because they just makes more sense. Like having like a biped type robot, like a human like robot, like is pretty stupid considering like the way it works. Like you need a human brain kind of to like make it practical. So just like
Hmm.
insects are just completely reflexive. They're purpose built like billions of years of evolution to get to the perfect form, and it's just like it seems like aliens would be the giant praying mantis or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I guess you see that in execution in real life with like the robot dogs that
Hmm.
are made by that company, like Boston Dynamics or whatever. They're
Ghost
getting
Robotics is another one.
quadrupedal robots instead of bipedal because it just makes
I know
more sense.
DARPA's made some tiny flying robots too that are like bugs.
The CIA was working on one in the 60s or
A long time
70s, the
ago.
Insectahopter,
Yep.
Yeah.
one of their
Yeah.
drones.
Such a
And I mean,
bug.
we all know that all the birds were replaced with flying drone robots too. So I mean,
I
so
disagree. I love birds.
Bradley, birds aren't real. Just accept it. uh,
I actually decided recently that I think that bird song is the only thing keeping us sane. That without it, everybody would just go insane. I
mm,
decided that's the thing I believe recently.
it
I mean,
makes
isn't
sense.
that, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just agreeing.
Okay,
I was
good.
gonna say, I
Thank
mean,
you.
isn't that one of the tropes like in science fiction or writing where like if you walk into the woods and you don't hear sounds of birds singing, you know something's wrong?
Yeah, that definitely. But like, if we
Yeah,
were just walking around like daily life, if there were no birds singing anywhere, I think we would all lose our minds.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. And whales, I think, keep the moon in place. It keeps it in synchronous orbit. Whale song is
okay.
something I decided recently too.
How do clouds play into this schema
Uh,
of yours?
Chemtrails?
Clouds. Clouds were actually my new obsession after UFOs. I needed a replacement. So I started looking at clouds and looking at ants. Like getting on
Okay.
yeah, sorry, getting off topic.
No, it's all right. Yeah, I mean it's all connected, I think.
It's all
Um,
connected.
because I forgot to mention this as well. Morgan's in another episode, Small Potatoes,
Oh man,
Oh
that's a fun
shit, you're
one.
right. I forgot about that.
where you actually see his face. So that one's
Right.
actually pretty, yeah. The multiple faces of his character in that.
Yeah,
What was it, like Van Blunt or something? And it had
Van
like a
Blunt.
silent, had a
Yeah,
silent H.
DT. Yeah.
Yeah. um, so I like that episode, but that's one where like the monster of the week doesn't really make sense to me. Um,
That's the one.
well, no, I mean it seems a little bit more far fetched in ways that I don't like as much because I mean essentially he impersonates people by moving the musculature of his face to look like their face,
Yeah, yeah. It is a
which
little
is
bit much.
fine if he's just changing his face, but how does he change his hair or his height
And the whole thing
or
is with like his epidermis was the whole thing. Like he had special
right,
epidermis, not special bones.
right. So he couldn't change his height or his voice or one would think or his hair or so I mean
He must not have written that one.
no, he didn't write that one. He's just in it. But it's great to actually see his face in that one because you're just like uh you know, in the rubber suit, you know, in the rubber Flute
Yeah.
Man suit. I mean, it's pretty great to make your entrance in a rubber monster suit because I think that's one of those uncelebrated joys in life is just watching guys run around in rubber monster suits.
Totally agree.
Right there with you.
Um, did you ever have either of you been to the X-Files museum?
Have not had the
No,
chance, no.
I would love to someday.
Where is
is
it?
it in?
I don't know. I just perused the store online. They got a bunch of great memorabilia and stuff.
You always send me the picture of Duchovny from the episode he directed, The Unnatural.
Wrote.
Bro, yeah.
Yeah. I wish they would have let him write more episodes because that one and Hollywood AD are both so fucking good.
Well,
Uh,
he wrote the baseball one too.
yeah.
The
That's
Unnatural,
the one
yeah.
we're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's like a set photo where it's like Mulder's like with all the black baseball players and he's got like his sunglasses on and he's like swinging a baseball
Oh,
bat. So good. But yeah, the X-Files Museum store. Highly recommend checking it out if you are listening to this and like the X-Files.
I always check it out periodically because I want to find every now and then they'll sell a copy of
Lone
the
Gunman.
Lone Gunman, their
Yeah.
newsletter. I'm looking for one of those and you can never find them. And
I'm
they're one of the only places you can get it.
and they're so funny. Like I wish I would didn't pass up that one from a few months ago.
Yeah, same.
Uh
yeah.
anyways, it is in you can get tours and stuff and it's in
I'm gonna guess somewhere in Maine or like the Northeast, even
I
though
thought it was New York
oh, it's New
or
York.
Pennsylvania.
Saratoga Springs, New York.
Okay, so it's a
Oh,
little farther north.
I've been to Saratoga Springs.
Really? Is it noteworthy?
It's noteworthy. I think there's like a racetrack there. That's what claim to fame. But they had a really nice walkable downtown area where you could bring a dog.
It looks really pretty.
Because me and Bernie and my wife were all walking around and we got to eat at a restaurant where Bernie was allowed on the patio, and he was allowed in the bookstore. They have a bookstore there that went viral at one point because it's like this weird labyrinth of a bookstore. You walk in and it's like a normal sized bookstore, and you go into the back and it splits off down 2 hallways, and then there's a staircase that goes down. But this store just keeps going. Like you keep walking and you're like, man, there's still more store. How does it keep going
I
down? I
know.
don't understand.
There's a
It
bookstore
kind of
near me that's kind of like that. They had to put like fluorescence tape leading people back out because it's so,
right.
it's very
Yeah,
disorienting.
I think some influencer had taken pictures along the way, and so it turned into this thread on Twitter that went super viral at one point. And I was like, I've been there. I went to that store. I wish
Hell
I
yeah.
took pictures. Yeah. And they actually had some good weird books when I finally found the weird book section. I got
Yeah,
some
it always takes forever.
got some
Unfortunately, we
Velikovsky.
don't have a lot of weird books where I'm at. I did recently go to Apor Books, which was wonderful, but that's
Yeah.
like the closest thing I have to anything where I can find any weird books.
Yeah.
Huh. Now, aren't you closer to Philadelphia?
Yeah,
There's no
there's
good
a
weird books there.
not bookstores. Like a couple of them are really good bookstores, but not like, paranormal, supernatural, anything like that. We had
Oh,
one
okay.
over a decade ago, Germ Books, which was very weird, but it closed, I think, in like 2012, 2013.
Damn.
Yeah,
There's
bummer.
still some like new age stores around, but you have to get further out from the city before you can find anything. New York still has a ton of them.
Cool.
Right. And
You'd
that's
think
not
Pennsylvania
too
would
too
have
far
more
from
with
you.
all the weird, like, like sort of Christian Dutch shit. You know what I mean? Like Pennsylvania, there's a lot of fucking weird places in Pennsylvania.
I mean, there's a lot of Christian bookstores where you can stop in and find strange stuff if you're looking for like weird, fundy literature, which I do every now and then, but not like anything that puts you in league with the devil.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, up here, I just haunt all the used bookstores, and then it's a game for me to find that one shelf that's going to have a bunch of weird books in it. And I mean, sometimes I never find it, but sometimes I score big. I mean, I have a box over here that I think is like 50 issues of Fate magazine
What?
that I found once, and I was at work, and it was a place that only accepted cash, so I bought like 3 or 4. And then a couple days later, I just showed up with like $100. I'm like, how much for the
Yeah.
whole box? The guy gave me a deal on it. I'm like, all right, here you
That's
go.
so cool.
Yeah.
I just recently came across up there on the top. It's just like a bunch of the rainbow up there. That's
Yeah.
all overlook editions of PG Wodehouse books that I came across.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about those.
$1 each. I thought it was like going to be somewhere near like a complete set. It's less than a third. There's 99 of them.
Wow.
He wrote
Man
so
is
much.
prolific. Yeah. Yeah.
Can't say I have a great collection like that. The closest I have is sort of like your Fate magazines. I found a place that had a ton of old UFO magazines, the American UFO magazine. So I bought, I think, like from 89 through 93 or 94. I want to collect the whole run of it, but it's fun going through those because you can see all of like the bickering and fighting in the UFO community.
I
Well,
love
Oh
Cooper
that.
yeah.
versus the I forget the guy who ran the magazine, but
Bill
like
Burns?
no,
Bill
it's
Burns.
Don Ecker.
Oh,
Sorry.
Don Ecker. Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
So they had a long running feud where it would just be the Eckers attacking Bill Cooper repeatedly in issue
Yeah.
after issue after issue. And then you'd have the other UFO writers doing their stuff.
We
Well,
need
then
that
you had the
again.
other Cooper too, like Vicky Cooper or
Yeah.
whatever. She
Uh,
wasn't she
well, I
on
believe she
Pleasier?
married Don Ecker, so I think
Right.
that's yeah.
We need another saucer smear or like we need another forum for shit like that isn't Twitter.
Got to start a Substack, Bradley, so you can be that guy. Got to
I
spill the
mean, it's
tea.
funny. You see it in Fate too, though. I mean, there's an editorial section at the back of Fate, and you'd see like Adamski taking shots at Orfeo Angelucci early on and stuff like that. It's pretty great. I have a couple issues from the early '50s, and
That
they're just taking shots at each other.
that's
So
been my favorite thing about scanning correspondence from like Marcelo Trezzi and a few other people is that they're so bitchy with each other. It is
Yeah.
so funny.
right.
I mean, that's half the fun of reading any old magazine. You can go through old rock magazines. I forget the guy's name, but in the 70s, he was doing like really weird, sort of like vaguely, it would be considered today like what people on Twitter would be the esoteric right, but he was doing that within rock criticism. So there's always these letters to the editor in like Boston publications from the 70s, if you go through them, where it's like Lester Bangs would, even though he was based out of Detroit, he would write and be like, this guy sucks. Why do you print him? And you get all of
Yeah.
these writers for the magazines all just attacking this one guy who nobody knew who he was except for other rock writers. It's fantastic when you
so
can find that
funny.
stuff.
Yeah, I mean, those flame wars have existed as long as publishing has, I'm pretty
Yep.
sure. Because, I mean, I came across this researching Aleister Crowley at one point, and he was having a flame war with G.K. Chesterton in the pages of like a literary review paper. I'm just like, Chesterton versus Crowley. This is phenomenal. I love it.
I gotta look that up. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's in a book called The Legend of Aleister Crowley. It's a book about his books, I think.
Oh, the one you were telling me about. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Yeah. Well, we again got off topic. I don't know that Morgan would have been involved in any kind of flame war like that. He seemed to like to keep a low profile. As we said, he didn't do very many interviews.
Yeah.
And Mr.
Doesn't-
Morgan, if you're listening and you'd like to come on this show, hit
You
me
can
up.
make fun of whoever you want.
Yeah. I think he did in a way with some of the characters. I mean, like the stupendous Yappy character.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, he said that was Uri Geller and fucking
Um,
what's the other guy? It was a composite of
it
Uri
was a
Geller.
magician.
Yeah, the really famous.
Hold on, I have the interview handy, so I'll just.
I mean, so if Psych was
Amazing
not a
Crest-
show, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, if Psych wasn't a show about a fake psychic, they should have given Yappy his own show.
He was a great character.
He was.
I mean, yeah, according to the interview, Morgan said that's just how that guy talks and acts.
Mhm.
Anyway.
Like he will just talk like that's how he talks in real life, and he
Right,
just
he
will
was,
keep talking.
He was a stunt coordinator on the show or something like that, right?
He
He did hit
Mulder's
some
double, yeah.
double. There you go.
Yeah, his name was Jaap Brocker. It looks like a Finnish name. Jaap. Some
That's
kind of
so funny.
Scandinavian. Yeah. Yeah, but I guess that's just how he looked and acted and behaved in real life.
That's awesome.
It's good, and he reappears in a few episodes, I think.
Yeah.
He comes
Mhm.
back later. Oh,
Yeah,
he's
he'll
the host of the Alien Autopsy
Yep.
Mhm.
stand up in Jose
Yeah.
Chung. Yeah. And that's kind of good because it's like the same actors appear in the Morgan episodes too, and I don't know, not sure if they appear in other ones, but the hypnotist in Jose Chung is also the tour guide in Humbug for that freak museum.
Oh,
It's
the
the
guy who
same
looks like
actor.
G. Gordon Liddy?
I guess. I'm not- I can't conjure in my mind what G. Gordon Liddy looks
Bald
like. off the top of my
mustache.
head. No.
Okay.
I'm sorry. There's multiple hypnotists in Jose Chung. The one that's shown along with Mulder and Scully.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that guy. I realized watching both back to back last night. I was like, I recognized his voice, and I was like, oh yeah, it's the same guy. So
Cool.
sorry. The other Morgan through line with these episodes is like the kids doing weird drugs.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that when they showed up in the Were Lizard episode. I was so happy.
They're like licking frogs or something.
But he makes those callbacks across both like just the episodes he writes in X-Files and even into other series, because one of the Millennium episodes he does, which is titled, I believe, Somehow Satan Got Behind Me. It's the one about the demons. He throws in a reference to Jose Chung's in the Alien Autopsy. Midway through, there's a demon who is harassing network TV censor to drive him crazy. And at some point, it culminates in him running onto the set of a series that is clearly the X-Files, where they're filming it, what is probably Jose Chung's, and he just begins shooting the aliens. So it's like this weird callback to like a bunch of other stuff Morgan's already written before.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
that may have been like his most, that episode in particular, I think is really funny because it may be like his meanest episode of any of the ones that he's done across either series.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really gonna have to check that out now.
That episode alone, definitely check it out.
Because it
Did
does, can
he?
it like stand up on its own? Like, do I
Yeah.
have to watch all the ones before it?
No, I watched it again like a few months ago, like on its own, just out of the blue. If
Uh-huh.
you know a little about Millennium, it helps. But if you don't know anything, it's a standalone. It's basically a Monster of the Week episode for Millennium.
Gotcha.
Did he write any of the Lone Gunman episodes
I
that you know of?
don't believe so.
I think Glenn did.
Yeah.
Right. Huh. Yeah. Um, well, fantastic guy. And I mean, we didn't mention the Mandela effect one, but so we can talk about that for a minute. But there does seem like there's a continuity with all the things he did. So you can make an argument that there's like a separate Darin Morgan verse within the X Files universe
Yeah, yeah.
where a lot of this stuff takes place. But yeah, I mean, in the newer series, which includes the Mulder and Scully Meet the Were Monster, which we mentioned briefly, you have the Lost Art of Forehead Sweat, where he tackles the Mandela effect. And I mean, nobody else could have done that as well. I think it was before we were recording that I was saying that I wasn't thrilled with the return to the X Files after so long.
No.
The episodes didn't sit well with me, but when during Mulder and Scully versus the Meet the Were Monster, I think was one of the best things I'd ever seen. And then the Art of Forehead Sweat. And I'm like, nope. I mean, these two together, that's all I ever need out of
It's
a
really
return
good.
to this show. That's good watching. So
Yeah. Robert, you have some good takes on the Mandela effect.
I mean, I think the Mandela effect itself was just like something that was a phenomenon that probably occurred naturally, but may have played some role in the mainstreaming of conspiracy culture. People had to have been paying attention to what was happening with some of the weird Mandela effect stuff that was happening in the early 2010s. Obviously, the Mandela one itself, which makes no sense to anyone who was even alive during the last 25
yeah,
years of his life. But even beyond that, the one that always stands out to me is the James Bond one, Dolly Embraces. I don't understand like why that is still a thing, and it was big on the internet in the early 2010s. There was also the Sinbad movie that everyone
right,
talked about.
yeah,
It's just, I think the Mandela effect showed that you could have these self-reinforcing communities that would never be wrong. Like it's that Festinger
yeah,
book, When Prophecy Fails. You have this
right,
community who just keeps reinforcing this idea and reinforcing a commitment to the idea. So
right.
someone, maybe people who were in the Trump campaign elsewhere, realized that can be exploited. I didn't really
Mm.
explain that as
So
well as I could because it's
the
just all off
Mandela
the top of my
effect,
head.
the Mandela effect is a psyop. Then,
No, I don't think it's a psyop. I think it was one of
uh,
those things where it naturally occurred that people recognized there was this phenomenon where you can exploit certain features of the internet to, I guess, create psyops. I mean, look at stuff that happened all of last year, all of the panics we dealt with, the UFO drone stuff over Jersey,
mhm, mhm.
where all of it was just
Well,
like planes and actual drones, but not like secret government drones.
see, I
Uh,
felt that way about flat eartherism. Like when the flat Earth stuff
yeah,
really
it's a good
started picking
example.
up, I was like, this has got to be. Um, I think it grew up organically a bit, and it's not the first time in history that the idea has caught on. But I felt like it was there was some guiding hand there,
Yeah.
prodding it along, and I'm like, to what end? I mean, just to see how extreme you could push like absurd beliefs,
Well, and some of it, I mean, like some of those communities were definitely, I don't know if this happened with Mandela effect, but I know Flat Earth, a lot of people that those communities were infiltrated by like various like white nationalist groups and other people who
Yeah.
could be like, here is this wild belief, but like they're hiding something from you and who's doing that? Well, let
Mhm.
me tell you, you know?
Right.
So a lot of people like that would infiltrate those communities, specifically Flat Earth and other conspiracy theories adjacent to it.
Mm. Yeah,
Flat
I
Earth
mean,
is
flat.
what Flat Earth's one of those ones that never really like. I asked Tim Binnall about this because I know he was hanging out with the Flat Earth people for a while. Uh, I just don't like. I get why people. I mean, this also ties into what Robert was talking about. Like, I get why people believe in QAnon. Like, I get it. But I don't get why people believe in flat Earth. I don't see what the appeal is. I don't know what are the stakes here? Like, what is the big secret that's being kept? And it feels like it's one of those things because I'm in a couple flat Earth groups on Facebook. I keep check up on them sometimes. And I don't see it's just they're just all spinning their wheels, and it's all like choose your own adventure. Like there's no consensus on like what the big secret really. It's really strange to me. Like I don't get why people believe in it.
Well, it's a particularly pointless one for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just kind of if your entree to any weird idea comes at the wrong time, then it's almost like a very mild subliminal form of ontological shock where you're just like, well, nothing is real then. I've been lied to my entire life. Like I'm stripping it all down to the studs and rebuilding my reality in the way I want to.
I just said I don't get why people believe in it, but then I remembered what Robert literally just said.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a religiosity to it where it's like people need stuff to fill the void in their life. So in some sense that helps do that. If you've been lied to, you found the answer, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and somebody's responsible for it.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
That you can point to. Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. They.
Dr. They is absolutely the one. Yep.
Yeah.
So that was beautiful, Dr. They.
Great way of pulling that back.
Yeah, thank you for pulling us back to reality, Bradley. But yeah, I mean, and they reference like the Genie movie and everything in that.
Yeah.
Dr. They was in the Genie movie.
Well, again, it speaks to like Morgan's. He clearly probably was not someone who was obsessed with the Mandela effect before coming to this, but it shows like his ability to synthesize material that he might be unfamiliar with, but that still has some relevance in that period among a community of people that, like with ufology, what he did with Jose Chung's, it's very similar.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like there's overlap between Mandela effect belief and like simulation theory.
Yeah,
people think that everything's like a simulation. It's kind of a similar, and flat Earth for that matter. They all feel like just kind of upending reality with a new specific paradigm that makes less sense or more sense, but probably the same amount of sense. I don't know.
Same amount of sense and same amount of like doesn't change anything. I still got to go to work.
The same amount of guardrails. Yeah, exactly. You still need to go to work and you still need to pay your rent and all this other stuff. So I mean,
but like what you were saying with flat Earth, I mean, the Mandela effect is the one where it to me it doesn't make sense. Like I can sort of get how people end up in flat Earth just because it's like it's a conspiracy theory that's always been there, so it has this level of attraction. But Mandela effect is this new one where literally at some point in the 2010s, people decided. The people who don't believe in like the false memory stuff, they were like, okay, so someone's actually going back and changing history. And it's like, well, what does that accomplish? I understand if you change history, you control the future. I understand that part of it, but it's like, what do we gain out of saying a Sinbad movie doesn't exist, right? Like, what does anyone gain politically or culturally from that? The Mandela effect, just that one has never made sense to me.
Well, as a conspiracy theory, it doesn't make any sense to me. I always assumed it was bifurcating timelines, and some people get kicked from one timeline over to the other one and have memories of the other reality. And there's no conspiracy, there's no controlling hand behind it. It's just some people are unfortunately slipping through the cracks.
It's so annoying. I have no patience for that.
Yeah,
really? Well, it seems like actually, that appeals to me a lot more. I mean, you're a big Art Bell guy, right, Robert?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the Mandela effect first appeared on the Art Bell show. He was one of those original guys that remembered Mandela dying in prison. Bafflingly enough, yeah. So,
but I mean, I feel like Art definitely played stuff up, even if he didn't believe in it too. Like there'd be stuff he'd get into just for the sake of it. It's one of those things where it seems like there's gradations to it too, where there's people who believe that it's like, oh, they're saying this stuff didn't happen because they're trying to gaslight us. But then there's also people who believe literally there's some kind of overarching force that has changed the past. Dr. They, something like that. And it's such a bizarre one because there's no real consensus with it. And I've been caught up in it a few times where it's like, I remember someone sent something to me a while back. I had posted about the clown panic in 2016. Do you guys remember that?
Yes, my first day as a tennis coach, we had school canceled because somebody called in a clown themed bomb threat.
Well, so someone sent me a Reddit thread once where a post I made posted on Twitter. Someone posted, what was the group? It's not the main Mandela one. I think it was something like retconned, where there's a similar theory like retcon theory, where someone has gone into the past and changed the past, and they thought either maybe I did it or I was somehow involved with it, where someone had posted about the clown panic in this subreddit a week or two before, and then I posted about it and had a viral tweet. So they're like, he has to be a part of this. So like, I don't understand the Mandela thing, and it's such an annoying one to me for some reason. Maybe it's just because I'm a pedant and
Can
I
you
can't
explain
deal
your
with
take
that.
on the clown thing? Because I think it's excellent.
I mean, again, so like a lot of the stuff that I'm into, I'm a big psychological warfare guy. I
Mhm.
am a materialist, so I don't necessarily believe in UFOs in the way most people do. I think maybe there's intelligent life, but we haven't interacted with it. But like with UFOs, I think that whatever happened in 1947 may have been just some normal event that got mixed up and then something spawned out of it. And then the intelligence community and other groups understood it could be used for various reasons. Mandela effect, I think that probably happened there. The clown thing, I actually think that was probably some kind of normal scare because there were prior clown panics, I think in like 80, 83 in places like Kansas City. I think it was just something that happened and it got picked up and inflated by the if you guys remember in like 2015, 2016, there were a lot of Facebook groups that would pop up and there would be viral news stories about like one I'm thinking of was actually a Pizzagate precursor where it was a Chuck E. Cheese. There was a dungeon found beneath the Chuck E. Cheese. And that blew up because it was some fake news site that posted about it. So the clown panic kind of dovetailed into that, where it was like this natural thing where there were a couple of like fake clowns, Gags the Clown, and a couple of others that were like working on movies or whatever, and they went viral. But I think at some point that got exploited and people understood it could be used for other purposes, for like they learned how to game the system for virality. So they were able to essentially like learn how to generate fake panics. And we see politically how that has worked over the last few years. What was the one last year? Migrant families eating dogs or cats or something. No evidence of it, but like they could generate this news panic. And then that moved into the drone panic and that moved into another panic. So like our news cycles for like a decade or more have been just all of these like weird viral panics. And I think the clown thing was one of the ones they learned how to do that, just watching how it played out.
Definitely. The Haitians eating dogs thing was so annoying because there's a cop in the Detroit Police Department that's shot over 40 dogs. That's a lot of dogs. It's 40 more than have been eaten by Asians that we know of.
But it's like a lot of the paranormal stuff, that's how it works. It's like you have this viral moment. I mean, obviously there was nothing viral in 1947, but you have these flaps where lots of reports happen in a short amount of time and it's self-perpetuating. The first one happens, people see reports about it, they then see it and reports continue. So from that, you get this phenomenon that just appears out of nowhere. Mandela effect, clown panic, whatever.
Well, the original clown panic in the 80s was interesting because they didn't seem connected, you know?
Yeah.
It started in Boston.
I'm not familiar with this at all.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay. Lauren Coleman was the first one to write about it back then because he was part of a news clipping service and he noticed that he got multiple clown ones from different places. So it started in Boston, and then I think there was one in Rhode Island, and then a little while later, like somewhere in Pennsylvania, and then Kansas City. And these were all like local papers reporting it, so it wasn't national news. So they were all kind of isolated events that happened in that order, like starting in Massachusetts, working its way south into Pennsylvania, and then nothing for a while, and then appearing again in Kansas City.
I think it was also prior to the Stephen King book.
I was just going to ask.
Well, I think
before. it was before It came out, and
Yeah.
I think around the same time John Wayne Gacy was being tried, because
So-
he was like the serial killer clown. Yeah.
Huh.
There was another one in the early 90s after Homie the Clown appeared on In Living Color. I forget what year that happened, but like there were a couple of reports nationally about people seeing Homie
Mhm.
popping up, like kids would report it. So like there have been intermittent clown panics. It's just they weren't as connected as the one in 2016, because that one went on for a couple of months, and then you would see it pop up again like once or twice a year, 2017, 2018, and forward.
Was the
Yeah.
2016 was the I saw at the library recently a DVD for a documentary about Giggles the clown.
That was
Is
another
that the
one, yeah.
'Cause,
Well, there
like,
were a couple of fake clowns in that period. I think Giggles was like a phone number. It was like a performance artist that you call.
yeah,
And
it was like some what the back of the DVD said is that like some parents hired him to scare their kid as punishment for something.
he set up
Oh,
a
yeah. Oh, yeah,
service
I
where he
remember
would do
that.
that for people.
That's
Like you could call him and he'd
crazy.
scare the kids.
Terrible. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and that goes against everything that real
Clowns
clowns
stand
are.
for.
Yeah,
Exactly. Well,
Yeah,
there's
I didn't expect a clown conversation. This is great because that's like one of my areas of expertise, for better or worse.
Oh,
I always
nice.
end up. Well, I mean, I looked into it at one point, and then it just kept coming back to haunt me. I was overwhelmed with clown synchronicities, and eventually just had to accept that it's my lot in life to deal with clowns. So
I think my favorite piece of ephemera from that period was when that happened, there were local news outlets that would interview clowns, and some of
Mhm.
them would be like, "No clown will ever scare a child. This is not real." And then there was some station, I think in like Santa Clara, California. They interviewed this group, the Cali Killer Clowns, and it was all scary clowns. And they're like, "Yeah, we're killer clowns, and we're coming for you."
Well, I mean, there is a clown code. Like,
Yeah.
Is
like as
there?
far as circuses go, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. There's like a clown code. If you become a clown, there's like a serious thing that you're supposed to do. It's very regimented.
Huh.
There's like 4 different kinds of professional clown you can be, and like trained to be in a circus or a performing arts troupe, and they take it very seriously. And that part of the
Yeah.
clown code is like you never want to scare children. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
you always keep it clean. And
Except for the Cali Killer Clowns.
And
well, they're not.
ICP.
Well, arguably, they're not real clowns then.
No.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And actually, Lauren Coleman has a classification system for. It's much like the Hynek scale of close encounters. He has a classification system for
Clown encounters.
clown encounters. Yeah, there's phantom clowns, stalking clowns, and killer clowns. So
One
Oh
of
man,
the
I'm gonna have to look this up.
do you remember the American Chillers, like children's books? They're my
no,
generation. It was just like
Okay, yeah.
kids books
Before
that
my
like
time.
they were chapter books, like
Or
some of your
after.
first chapter books. And there were
Yeah.
like one, there was like one for every state, and then the guy was from Michigan, so he wrote one for like cities in Michigan, and the one in for Kalamazoo was called Killer Clowns of Kalamazoo.
nice.
And the way that we got rid of them, the way that the characters got rid of them was by killing them all.
Yeah, oh, there you go.
Good children's book.
Reminds me of a joke that's way too long to tell right
Is it about Pagliacci?
now.
Because he's
No.
so funny.
Well, you know what the funny thing about that is the word Pagliacci just means clowns, plural.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's not a name.
That's
It was the name
funny.
of the play. The play was called Clowns.
Oh,
And there's a
I'm learning
clown
so
in it,
much today.
tragic clown. Yeah. Um, I've written about clowns way too much. I think I know too much about them,
I'll have to
and
check those posts then.
I think we now need a X-Files script by Darin Morgan about Phantom Clowns.
That would be good.
That would be great.
So again, Mr. Morgan, if you're listening,
Man,
we
I
have
wonder
an
if there's a way
idea
to
for you.
contact him.
Yeah, I've often thought about writing a script for a Phantom Clown story with like Tim Banal being the clown hunter, because
That would be awesome. That's such a good idea.
yeah. But back in 2016, I think, or maybe 2018, we had a hashtag that was Clown Watch. We did it in 2020. It was like hashtag Clown Watch 2020, and we were sharing back and forth on Twitter like any and all clown stories that we came across, and we kind of like I hope Lauren Coleman doesn't listen to this. We kind of stopped including him because he would take it really seriously. And he would keep referring back to his clown classifications. Well, actually, this is
That's
more
funny.
of a shocking clown than a Phantom Clown.
That's really funny.
We're like, we're doing this for fun, man.
Man.
So
I mean, that was that's Tim's job though, isn't it? Like just finding news stories like that.
yeah, it is, and
Yep.
So
he
cool.
has a news alert for clowns, I'm sure. But I mean, he writes for Coast to Coast AM,
Right.
so he has to find weird stories every day.
That's
So
fun.
He
yeah.
congratulated me when I found the Catholic Yeti cult story. He's like,
Oh, you're the one that found that.
He was like, "You're the only other person who saw this. I have to congratulate you for that." I was like, "Well, ex-Catholic, sometimes I get this stuff."
Yeah, that is great. That was a weird story.
Yeah,
I
Very
so
much,
good.
yes.
enjoyed it. Yeah, I like that one a lot. Yeah. All right. So as we wind down here, do we have any other thoughts about Darin Morgan that we want to say before we start closing out?
Other than thanking him for his writing,
Yes.
what other writing credits does he have? It's very few, right?
Yeah, I don't believe he's ever done anything for film, if I remember correctly.
Because
Uh,
at the end of that interview, the one we were talking about from the film magazine, he says that he wants to do like romantic comedy, but I don't know if that he was joking or not. But that does seem like really up his alley.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
But I don't think he's ever done one.
War of the Coprophages sort of has that
Kind
weird
of romantic
madcap kind
comedy,
of
yeah.
romance. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was Scully getting kind of jealous. It's
Yeah.
and funny and weird. He played with that sexual tension dynamic between the two of them pretty well.
Yep.
Amazingly, like season
Right.
7 before they get their first kiss, and that's also Millennium crossover episode.
Yep.
Yeah,
I guess
there you
for
go.
Morgan, what I would say is a lot of the characters he wrote, oddly, I don't want to say they like humanized the paranormal elements that come with the X-Files, because that was something they were always trying to do. But if you look at like Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose, that's one of those weird ones where you get one of the more human characters in Peter Boyle's character, where you get this interpretation of a psychic, to my mind, that would be more realistic than anything that we normally get. Someone
Right.
who has this ability but doesn't know how to use it, or rather can't use it in any way that would make him financially successful. And it drives him
Mm,
crazy. And
yeah.
just the way he's kind of learned to live with that and accept it, despite the fact that it's ultimately going to be his downfall, is this weirdly human character where you wouldn't normally expect to find that in a comedy about a psychic, you know?
Right.
For more on this, see John Tenney's Realm of the Weird season 2 episode 3, where he like meets a guy who seems to be psychic and is super depressed and poor and is really down, and it's just like him. He doesn't know. He says it comes and goes, the knowing.
Wasn't that the guy that was in the hospital that he had to keep coming to visit? It wasn't
No,
like
that was different guy.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, yeah, great fucking show, Realm of the Weird.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right though, Robert. I mean, this guy sees his abilities as more of a burden,
Mhm.
and it's something. Interestingly enough, he came to by accident, just thinking about causality, thinking about all the little things that have to happen for something to happen, that allowed him to uh, have glimpses of how people were going to die. It's just like a really cool concept, which
Like becoming an
again,
actuary makes you a psychic.
You're right.
yeah, um, and being a bigger fan of the Big Bopper than he was of Buddy Holly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, not really. Oh man, Glenn Morgan wrote like a ton of good episodes, but we didn't even get into him.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
just so update, neither Morgan wrote anything for the Lone Gunman. It
Oh,
was
okay.
primarily Vince Gilligan and Frank Spotnitz.
Okay.
Yeah, and those guys weren't slouches either. They were pretty great.
No,
'Cause, I mean,
absolutely.
Definitely.
I feel like Gilligan wrote Dreamland parts 1 and 2, I think. Um, uh, but some of those episodes felt like they were trying to do the Darin Morgan thing.
No,
Like,
yeah, definitely.
yeah.
It's also a little fun fact. The guy who directed Jose Chung's whose name I can't remember, just like I couldn't when we did the Jose Chung's watch along, also directed Reign of Fire with Christian Bale.
Oh wow.
Interesting.
Not a good movie.
He had probably better material to work with on Jose Chung's.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he got a great cast to work with too.
Rob Bowman.
Oh, right. I know that name. He did a lot of the X-Files episodes, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Oh, he wrote Reign of Fire.
Oh, there you go.
What about like all time, not best, but personal favorite X-Files episode?
Oh, personal favorite?
Whatever you want that to mean. It can be different tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, I really think the ones I tend to go back to most, I think, are Clyde Bruckman and one that's not a Darin Morgan is Unusual Suspects, where it's kind of the origin story of the lone gunman. I love that one.
That's a great one.
And then there's one that kind of continues that thread later with the lone gunman and Scully. They like trick Scully into coming out to the
that's great. She gets drugged and everything. That one's great.
Yeah, right.
I love the my answer is gonna be different next time I watch an episode, but for now, I just watched the one with Burt Reynolds in season 9 where he's God and he just has to play checkers.
Okay, I never saw that one.
I'm gonna have
to look that one up. I think I kind of just dipped out in the last 2 seasons.
It's mostly a Scully Reyes episode, but it's fantastic.
Yeah.
You might be the only person though, Bradley, that's ever said your favorite episode is from season 9 of the X-Files.
my favorite episode is probably personal favorite Arcadia.
Okay, that's a good one.
It's a good it's like a comfort episode, I guess. But the Burt Reynolds one, I was so stoked on it last night when I was watching it.
Sorry, go ahead.
I do like the guest stars they got in some of the later seasons. Like you mentioned Ricky J.
Ricky J.
Amazing Malini in one of them. That was really good.
Did I send you the stuff with Ricky J?
For that Marcelo Truck? I think so.
Okay, good. Yep. It's really cool. His handwriting looks like fucking Dostoevsky's handwriting or something. It's so cool.
I have to do a whole episode about Ricky J sometime. That would be great.
That would be amazing. I would love that.
Robert, so I'm sorry I cut you off because I think you were going to say your favorite episode.
I was going to say either Clyde Bruckman or Drive, Vince Gilligan episode.
Fuck.
Yeah, with Bryan Cranston. So good.
Oh yeah, that one.
Essentially Havana Syndrome before Havana Syndrome.
Damn.
You get like Operation Seastead, you get all the fun references in there, and it has such a down and depressing episode because, no matter what Mulder does, he can't save Cranston's character. It's a great encapsulation of like the darker elements of the episode.
It's also funny because there's a realm of the weird episode that's also a very similar thing to Drive that Tenny investigated.
Oh, okay. What was it, like ELF type stuff?
Yeah, it was some people went camping in the woods in the UP in Michigan, and then they like thought they were abducted. They kept getting nosebleeds and headaches and bad dreams, and there was just this government building in the middle of the woods that was there. And then next time Tenny came back to check it out, it was gone.
Yeah, essentially Drive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Although I guess they didn't have to drive less than 60 miles an hour.
It's such a funny like plot device or whatever.
It wasn't the recreation of Speed.
Yeah. The movie, I think it was called The Bus That Couldn't Slow Down. Had to get the Simpsons reference in there. Right. Okay, gentlemen. So before we go, what are you guys up to? You got any projects you're working on currently? I heard, Robert, that you were writing a book.
I mean, I'm always in the process of writing something, probably a book at some point in the future, but I had something I reached out to Bradley just the other day about that I hope to have before then. Can't say much about it now. It does involve UFOs and other weird stuff. So I hope to have, I want to get the ball rolling on that as soon as I can.
Cool. But so if people want to find you online, where would they go do that?
Right now, Twitter is the best place. Hopefully, I will have a Substack or something in the near future, maybe a podcast.
Awesome. All right. And Bradley, what do you got going on?
The Robert's assignment.
Yeah.
And I'm making gnome shirts again, which
Yeah.
isn't going to be a thing for. It's not real scholarly work, but that's what I got going on.
Well, I love the gnomes. It's really good stuff. That's at bwp.threadless.com.
That's correct. Thank you very much. And then also on Twitter.
Yeah, and you're on Twitter.
Pleasies.
Okay.
Yep.
Be pleasies. All right. Well, thanks so much, gentlemen. The truth is out there somewhere, and the truth for tonight is Darin Morgan is awesome. So,
Indeed.
all right. Thanks for coming on.
Yep. Thanks.